Jane, you were talking about taking that special art course this summer. Have you decided about that?
Well, no, not here it's a funny thing. Yes, it is a evolutionary tool, one that our body uses to prevent us from jumping from a high up building or to wave our arms around whenever an insect comes our way. It is instinct. And this is where a jump scare lies. You hear a loud noise, you get scared, and then you laugh. However, we as humans know that fear goes far beyond that. The type of fear we're talking about today is not one that comes from loud noises, but rather from unsettling silences and experiences that we cannot quite explain. Learned fear is something born out of necessity. In daily life, we are constantly entering situations in which we have to assess, is this safe or is this dangerous? Is this dark alleyway a good path back home? Is that person looking or looking? All of these assessments must happen in a matter of seconds. And in order to do that, we as humans develop something called intuition. Whenever talking about intuition, people think it is this magical, immaterial thing. But really, it's just a pattern recognition system that we developed over millennia through shared experiences and first-hand experiences as well. So, what happens when everything you were taught to be safe? It's not.
When Rosemary Woodhouse first arrives at the Brentford, what she finds is beauty, history, and maybe a little bit of eccentricity. Despite some warning signs from her friend Hutch about the place, she's more than willing to just ignore it if it means she can have her blissful domestic fantasy with her failed actor husband, Guy. Some odd thing happens here and there, but it doesn't matter. Rosemary even made a friend in the building, this girl named Terry. She's staying with the Castevets, her next door neighbors, and they are helping her out of the streets and out of drug use and, other ugly stuff. Rosemary is optimistic. But then, one night, she and Guy are coming back home from a night out, and they see their street full of people ogling at this tragedy. Terry has committed suicide. The very next day, someone knocks at Rosemary's door. It is Minnie Castevets, her neighbor. She basically hassles Rosemary into saying yes to having dinner with her and Roman, her husband. And of course, Rosemary, being the people pleaser she is, she cannot say no to a couple of two elderly people feeling so sad and lonely after a tragedy like that. The dinner, it's strange to say the least. The Castevets are eccentrics for sure, but even Guy, who was the most hesitant to go, seems to have taken a liking to Roman. The day following the dinner, Guy feels a little off. You see, he had been auditioning for this play that he was certain would be the one to make him a big star. It just so happens that a different actor took his role. However, the morning after their dinner with the Castevets, Guy receives a call.
"Oh God," Guy said. He was sitting on the bed, the phone in one hand and a can of red devil paint remover in the other. "And they don't have any idea what's causing it?" he said. "My God, that's awful, just awful." "Guy," Rosemary said. He opened his eyes and looked at her. "What is it?" she asked. He blinked and came alive. Donald Beauregard, I said. He's gone blind. He woke up yesterday and he can't see. Oh no, Rosemary said. I've got the part, Guy said. It's a hell of a way to get it. He looked at the paint remover in his hand and put it on the night table. Listen, he said. I've got to get out and walk around. He stood up. I'm sorry, I've got to get outside and absorb this. I understand. Go ahead, Rosemary said, standing back from the doorway. He went as he was, down the hall and out the door, letting it swing close after him with a soft slam. Poor Donald Baumgart, with his clumsy name that he didn't change. He must have been good to have one out Guy. And there he was, in Bellevue, blind and wanting to kill himself under sedation. Kneeling on a window seat, Rosemary looked outside of its bay and watched the house's entrance far below, waiting to see Guy come out. She waited and watched it, but he didn't come out. He must have used the 55th Street door.
The thing about Rosemary's Baby is that, unlike most moral panicky discourse out there, the book's horror does not arise from a satanic coven of witches. In fact, the witch coven is almost played as satire. In fact, the book's horror comes from Rosemary's constant dismissal and gaslighting. Ira Levin is very smart on his writing. He keeps the narrator close to Rosemary at all times. This way, he can blind us, the reader, through Rosemary's own biases, prejudices, and fears. Early on, we are introduced to the couple's new eccentric neighbors, and we are given an explicit clue to the strange behavior from the Castevets, their next-door neighbors. Late at night, laying in bed, Rosemary hears a strange chant and some flute playing. And despite all the strangeness, the one thing that strikes Rosemary as weird and abnormal is a possible gay couple in another floor of the building. Rosemary is the perfect Christian girl, and that's precisely why she's the person to become a victim to a satanic plot. Just think about it. She wasn't raised with independence and self-reliance in mind. No, she was taught to respect her elders, submit to her husband, don't talk back, be sweet. You don't know what's good for you. This does not mean that she's not trying to fight this urge. Her intuition is constantly trying to override years of programming for submission. But the fear of being alone, or worst, being seen as a nuisance, it's sometimes too strong. Their overstepping starts small. May I come into your house? Would you wear this necklace? Then it grows a little bit. Would you eat this thing, drink that thing? Don't talk to your friends. And then much is talked about the scene where Rosemary's body is sacrificed for Satan to rape. It is gut-wrenching, a scene full of confusion and the fragility of her body. And yet, it is the following scene that truly lingers in my mind. Rosemary wakes up the next day. Her body is covered in bruises and scratches.
The dreams I had.
Don't yell, I already filed them down. I didn't want to miss baby night. And a couple of my nails were ragged, and it was kind of fun in a necrophile sort of way.
I dreamed someone was raping me. I didn't know, someone inhuman.
Thanks a lot.
To Guy, there's no shame in taking blame for his wife's rape. It was an accident. He was drunk too. It's an oopsie to joke about. The way Levine writes the scene is deliberately casual, just a husband and wife having a disagreement about something banal. And despite Rosemary feeling hurt, both physically and emotionally about the situation, she's able to loop her mind around and decide that Guy had the best of intentions. He just didn't want to miss baby night. We both want to have kids. And I understand that to you and I, minds of the 21st century, it might seem unthinkable that someone could ignore so many instances of abuse and gaslighting. But it was the 1960s, and despite all the talk of free love from the hippies, marital rape was still legal for another 10 years in the US and for much longer in other places. To be a good wife still meant that you only gave and never asked anything in return. And that is definitely something we do not have today. To me, this scene is the crux of the whole novel. Rosemary knows something is not right. She has literal physical evidence of such. And yet, she is dismissed and gaslit into thinking it's all natural, or even better, it's her fault. By the end of the novel, Levine shows us a Rosemary still unable to do the necessary. After she finally understands the Coven's true intentions with the baby, she decides that the only way to save the world and her soul is to commit suicide and take the baby with her.
The thing to do was kill it, obviously. Wait till they were all sitting at the other end, then run over, push away Laura Louise, and grab it and throw it out the window and jump out after it. Mother slays baby and self at Brentford. Save the world from God knows what, from Satan knows what. A tail! The butt of its horns! She wanted to scream, to die. She would do it, throw it out, and jump.
And yet, after very little convincing from Roman, the leader of the Satanic Coven, and her compulsion to fulfill this domestic fantasy, she decides, I'll raise the baby. How bad could it be? Rosemary's Baby might be disguised as a horror novel, but the way Ira Levine writes horror into the story has nothing to do with ghouls and witches. Actually, you could replace the whole Satanists with God-fearing Christians and the story would have worked just the same. Because Rosemary's Baby, it's not a fantasy at all. It's rather a cautionary tale about control and how much you are willing to let go before losing your soul.